Welcome back to After the Snap. And this week, the buzz has been buzzing. We're going to be diving into the latest whispers around Joker, Folie à Deux. We're also going to be talking about what's brewing with Disney Plus's upcoming series, Vision Quest. And we're going to be discussing the highly anticipated documentary, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. Plus, we're going to get into that drama surrounding the megalopolis. Did I say that right? The Megalopolis trailer that dropped the Megalopolis trailer that dropped just last week. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss these conversations. Come on, let's just hang out for a little while and discuss this entertainment news. This is the weekly wrap up. First up today, we are going to be talking about Joker 2. Because the second installment of Todd Phillips' Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix is rapidly approaching, and we got the first official trailer recently with a real good look at Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, which looks so intriguing. It does. It looks very intriguing. But one thing that is conspicuously missing is any mention of this film being a musical. Now, of course, if you follow entertainment news as closely as I do, you're probably aware that it was announced way back, I think in 2022, that it was a musical. But for those not obsessively checking the pulse of the industry, that detail might have flown over your heads. And the problem is, it seems like Warner wants to keep it over your head till you got your butt in the seats, basically. So, why would a studio want to do that? There might be several reasons. One of them being that they have no confidence in the film. Now, after the critical success of the first Joker movie, it's hard to imagine that they don't have confidence in Todd Phillips and his ability to make a good movie. A more likely reason could be that they don't have confidence in the target audience. Now, that target audience generally skews male between the ages of 18 and 35. So, those people who enjoy superhero movies, I don't think WB realizes that their audience completely understands that the main character, Arthur, is completely insane. And he's an unreliable narrator. So we all know that what is happening on screen is likely all in Arthur Fleck's head. If the entire film's characters were talking fish, we would get it because we know that Arthur is batshit crazy. But the fact that this movie is considered a jukebox musical tells me that Phillips is once again swinging for the fences. He's taking a big swing. And in my opinion, that's a breath of fresh air in this medium. When filmmakers are free to take calculated risks to tell less formulaic stories, the viewers win. We all win. So hopefully, WB and the other big studios will learn the cookie cutter approach to telling stories is frankly just insulting. Next up is Two Truths and a Rumor about the upcoming Vision series. That series is going to be helmed by Star Trek Picard showrunner Terry Matalas. And let's start with the truths. It has been confirmed that James Spader will reprise the role of Ultron in the series. So many fans are excited because they thought Ultron's departure was a bit unceremonious in the Age of Ultron, the movie. So the door was always open, however, for his return in one capacity or another. We never saw him die on screen. We've been teased with other appearances of the character's variants in the animated series What If, but the excitement factor went way up with the news of Ultron's return in the live action Marvel universe. We also learned that the Vision series might lose the title Vision Quest before being released in Disney Plus in 2026. The second truth that we have learned about this series is that it is going to be completing a trilogy, beginning with WandaVision and then followed by Agatha All Along, which is going to be releasing on Disney Plus on September 18th. But that came as a bit of a surprise to me. It probably shouldn't have, even though the latter series seems very self contained. They all pull at the same threads from the same show that started off the entire Disney Plus MCU universe. Of course, I'll be watching Agatha and her Wayward Witches as they ease on down the road towards some type of redemption. The last piece of news, which is a rumor. The rumor is that Elizabeth Olsen may be making appearances in these series, specifically in the Vision Quest series with a different role. So she won't be playing Wanda Maximoff. She'll be playing somebody else. We're going to keep our ear to the ground to see if that rumor turns out to be more of a truth. But right now, that's all I've got on Vision Quest. Our next topic is all rumor, and nothing has been substantiated yet. So, the source is, of course, Daniel Rickman, who is a pretty accurate scooper. Now, according to him, the latest installment of Spider Man, as portrayed by Tom Holland, will begin filming next year and will be released in July of 2026. That affirms that this film is going to be heavily influenced by the events of Avengers Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. And oh, by the way, Robert Downey Jr. has pretty much confirmed he's not playing a variant of Tony Stark, but a fully realized Victor Von Doom. So that was interesting. It also infers that Spider Man 4 is likely going to be the biggest title to release before Avengers Secret War and after Avengers Doomsday. Now, there's been some speculation about who's going to be directing this film. We've heard Sam Raimi, John Favreau, and the brothers of Bad Boys, Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. All of those names have been mentioned. But if the rumors check out, this is also going to be a multiverse story, which comes as a disappointment to some fans because some of us are really ready to see a more grounded, street level story of Spider Man pitting the web slinger against the likes of Kingpin. So I guess our spidey senses are going to tingle when there's studio confirmation of all of this gossip. Our next story gave me a really good chuckle. This is probably one of, if not the most wild movie trailer scandals of the digital age. As many of you know, Francis Ford Coppola has self-financed this huge, big, bombastic film called Megalopolis. That film is due to hit theaters September 27th. So while there's been some criticism of the quality of the film, lots of moviegoers wanted to wait for the trailer before they made any decisions about whether they're going to see it or they're going to pass on it. Little did we know what a treat was in store when this trailer dropped. It did not waste any time grabbing our attention, right? You had Lawrence Fishburne narrating about Coppola's misunderstood genius, and graphics were flying across the screen, starting with 1972, Godfather, a sloppy, indulgent movie. And that was attributed to have been said by Andrew Saris. It went on to quote Pauline Kael, also saying, diminished by its artsiness, before circling back to Saris, this time saying, The Godfather doesn't know what it wants to be. Now, this montage of just horrible reviews spanning 5 decades continued for 30 plus seconds before we see the star of the movie, Adam Driver. By then, the damage was done because the first 38 seconds of this trailer was all made up. Like, all of it. The quotes from these film critics never happened. The world wanted to know if using these remarks was like a marketing strategy on the behalf of Lionsgate, or even worse, whether AI was to blame. No, that joke floated around for a couple of days, but then Lionsgate dropped the marketing consultant that was attached to this entire mess. And we've learned right after that it was AI. Instead of simply scouring the internet to find actual quotes from some of the most well known film critics of all time, this person used ChatGPT or one of its many GPT cousins. And those things actually tell you off the bat that it will lie. It's like it'll lie. So this is just another example of bad press surrounding this movie, from Francis Ford Coppola's really unacceptable and bad behavior with the nude female extras on the set to his questionable casting decisions. The movie might be the least interesting part of this entire production. If you ever wanted to cry while watching a documentary film trailer, this might be the time to do it. The trailer for the upcoming documentary, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, has dropped ahead of its September 21st release, and it is a tearjerker. In it, we see a whole bunch of footage from his time as Superman, as well as candid moments with his family. We hear how the accident, which turned the Man of Steel into a quadriplegic, went down. It dives into how that accident affected not only him, but his wife and his children, and then ultimately the world. We also see how a man who portrayed many of our first ideas of a superhero became one in real life. This is a film I truly hope does get huge numbers at the box office because it is the definition of watching the protagonist completing this hero's journey. In the face of a clear tragedy for his family, he found a way to not only offer inspiration, but hope and triumph to the disabled community. And that's truly, truly more powerful than any comic book character. The entire Washington clan is built for the big screen. Now, in his directorial debut, Malcolm Washington, son of acclaimed actor Denzel, will helm The Piano Lesson. That is a film that is based on the Tony Award winning stage play from August Wilson of the same name. Papa Washington promised the family of August Wilson to make a film happen, and he has delivered on that promise by serving as the executive producer on this project. And as if that's not enough Washington involvement, Denzel's uber talented son, John David, is part of the cast, which is stacked with talent, and I mean stacked. Listen to this virtual who's who of black talent, many of whom starred in the most recent Broadway adaptation of The Piano Lesson. We got Samuel L. Jackson. We know him from Pulp Fiction. We know him from The Avengers. We know him from all over the place. Sam Jackson is a working man. John David Washington from Black Klansman, from Tenet. We know him from a lot of different places, and we see that his star is continuing to rise in Hollywood, just like his dad. Ray Fisher from Zack Snyder's Justice League, from Rebel Moon. Yeah, Ray Fisher played in the stage play, and he is reprising his role in this film. We have Danielle Deadweiler, who played in The Harder They Fall, which was one of my favorite movies when that came out, and Till. Michael Potts, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and Rustin. Corey Hawkins, we know him from Straight Outta Compton. We know him from In the Heights. And as if that's not enough big names, Erica Badu is also set to appear in this film. The stage play was set in 1956 Pittsburgh during the aftermath of the Great Depression, and the piano lesson will follow the lives of a family called the Charles family in the Doker Charles household, and of course, the heirloom, the family piano. This piano documents the history of the family through carvings made by their enslaved ancestor. There's a lot of buzz around this film, a whole lot. This film is going to premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 10th. Following the film festival, it's going to begin a short theatrical release in select theaters before it hits Netflix on November 22nd. So if you can catch it in the theaters, it will start in the theaters on November 8th, and then it's going to land on Netflix on November 22nd. This one is certainly, most certainly on my watch list. And you know, this would not be an After the Snap production if I didn't have some Star Trek news to share. The next live action installment of Star Trek has begun filming in Toronto. Starfleet Academy will see cadets navigate friendships, rivalries, and first loves while training to become Starfleet officers. This thing boasts an amazing, heavy hitting cast of actors, including Academy Award winner Holly Hunter, Emmy winner Paul Giamatti. It's also going to see the return of beloved Star Trek Discovery actors Tig Notaro as Reno and Mary Wiseman as Tilly, as well as the Admiral I got all wrong in the third season of Star Trek Discovery, Admiral Vance, played by Oded Fur. Then, the big shocker was the addition of Robert Picardo reprising his fan favorite role of the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager. And what more can you ask for? This series is slated to hit Paramount Plus in 2025, and trust me, I will be waiting. Before we get to our final segment, I'd like to say thank you to my patrons who make these types of videos possible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you'd like to support the show just like they have, you can go ahead, look down in the description. There are ways to do that there. You can also click that super thanks button because that works as well. I also want to take this opportunity to invite you to subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, you kind of dig what I'm doing over here. Subscribe, turn your notifications on, do all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the last segment. Finally, if you were looking for some new stuff to watch, I got a little list of things that recently dropped so that you can fulfill your viewing pleasure. We have Only Murders in the Building season 4 that dropped on Hulu on August 27th. Then on August 29th, Lords of the Rings, The Rings of Power season 2 dropped on Amazon Prime Video. August 29th also saw Chaos drop on Netflix, and that one has Jeff Goldblum in it, has me very interested. I'm going to try to check that out. August 29th, also on Netflix, Terminator Zero, the animated thing. That's something to watch. Then on the 30th, The Deliverance dropped on Netflix. That is a film that is a horror film by Lee Daniels. And if you want to know a little bit more about The Deliverance, I have already dropped my review for that movie, but it is filled with spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, wait till you watch the movie before you watch the review. August 30th on Apple TV Plus, K-pop idols also dropped. On Stars, The Serpent Queen season 2, the finale that has dropped, and the theatrical and extended cut of The Fall Guy dropped on Peacock, also on August 30th. So that's a nice little list of things. There's a little bit something for everybody and spread out across different streaming services. So let me know what you watched, and I will have some more recommendations for you next week. And that's it. That's all I got for you today. But stay tuned because Mondays I will be dropping the weekly wrap up. It will be our Monday news segment. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you know when the weekly wrap up has dropped. Also, if you've got an opinion or a topic you want me to discuss and look more into, or anything else, put those thoughts in the comments below or email me right here, right here, and I will try to incorporate your thoughts into the next weekly wrap up. Don't forget, there is always going to be entertainment news. Something is going on in the industry. So stay connected with me. Keep our fingers on the pulse of what's going on out there, y'all. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.